Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about a nice neat feature. It's called Soft Palettes. That is a part of the Execute window, and I've been asked to show it, and I think you all benefit. If you never used it, if you are not sure what it is, so today I will try to answer all the questions. So what is the Soft Palette? So basically Soft Palette is a dynamic palette that you can update in your Execute window, and at the same time, if this palette has been used across your show file in a lot of cues, then momentarily you will update all those cues with this new information. So it's a really nice function, and if you used normal palettes in the Execute window, of course you may say, what's the difference? The difference is if you use the normal palettes in the Execute window, you will update the fixtures at that time while you're applying them, but you won't be able to update many cues or chases or cue stacks at the same time like you can do with soft palettes. And in the next few minutes I'll show you how to do it yourself. So, and here's an example. Like you can see, I have a chase, 2 steps, that's running dimming intensity and the color on the stage right, stage left of the spots, and by pressing buttons I will be able to update the colors on them immediately. But I'm using just for one chase. But imagine if I had 20 different chases and I have maybe 50 different cues where I would like to update those colors in one go. I would be able to do it just by using the soft palettes in the Execute window. So here how you do this. Okay, what we will create is we will delete this. You know what? No, I'll do it from scratch. So I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to set grid size to be, let's say, 10 by 6. Okay, so I have this one here. Then I'm going to come over here and I will create those palettes that I will use as my soft palettes. To do this, I will use for color, but you can use it for anything you want. So let's say I'm going to select I can select all my Maverick MQ2 spots. I can press locate if I want, and I will just find the empty space. I'll press record here, and I'll press record here. Okay, so what we can do now is we'll come here. We'll come here. Let me just go down. Yeah, this is one. I'm gonna call this palette, I'm gonna call it, say, Soft 3, because I already have 2. And I'll press, this is gonna be my Soft 4. So I can go inside View Palettes and I'll say Unlink Palette. So that means this is gonna be my individual palette. I'll come here and I'll say View Palette. Yeah, it's all normal. So they're both palettes absolutely empty, well, with a white color, and they have no connection to anything else. So there's no relation to any other palettes. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select spot stage left. I'm gonna say, for example, I can press at full, and I'm gonna select my soft palette 3. Then I'm gonna say record here. Then I can press clear. I'll select spot stage right. I'll press at full, and I'm gonna press soft palette 4, record here on the top. So what we did create is we created a nice chase, and you can see that it's running. So you can double click, you can see that it's running with the 2 steps. One of them is the stage left and stage right, and they're just switching on and off, and you can see they're all white color. Why? Because the palettes we saved, they had no color except for white. Cool, so this is what we do next. Now, if you open an Execute window, the one that we've created, yeah, then what we do is this. We're gonna copy, press copy. We'll select those 2 groups. We'll press enter to copy the source. Then we press execute window and click here. Now we can say move those ones over here. So we have two groups. Now we do next. So we can select all of them, and then for example we can copy. We press copy, we click on a group, and I can copy, let's say, up until here. Yeah, I press enter. I go to the execute window, I click here, so I've got this one copied, and I can copy this ones, enter, click here. So I have full duplicate copies of them because I want to be able to update them as I want, whenever I want. So then what I do is I come back here, go down here, and then I copy these two palettes, press enter, come into the execute window, and then move them, this one over here, and move that one over here. So we press clear. See this, they all disappeared. I said fine, I will select this, I'll press set region. That way this palette with one group will always work with that group when I'll be pressing. So instead of me every time pressing group palette, I will be just pressing the palette and they will apply. So then I will select that group of palettes with a group. I select it, and I have a second region. So now here's a trick. So if you select your soft 3 palette, the one that we want to work with the stage left, and then here on encoder it says item type button. So if I click on this, it will become link. So this will become link only for palettes. So if you have an executor, then you're going to change the type of the executor, but in our case it's a palette. So if I click here, it will become link as well. So what that means is, now if I come here, yeah, this is the chase. If I go inside of this queue, if I press view queue, you can see that it's referring to the color as a soft 3. And if I go to the next step, I can see that it's referring to the color as a soft 4, like a palette color. Yes, that's fine. That's what you probably expect. And now, what you do is you press clear, yeah, because we've selected a palette that was a white color, so it wasn't a programmer. We press clear, and now if we click on any of our palettes, you will see that it automatically converts them into the applies them onto each of our steps to the correct group of lights. So if you press yellow here and red here, you will see that it applies colors correctly onto each group of lights. And of course, again, you may say that, hey, I could do the same thing, but the difference is now if you go to the layout view, if you go to the color palette view, you select your soft palette 3 and then you press view palette, you will be able to see that it has applied the colors like a yellow color from the palette that I've used in the executor window. So now if I go to the next step, next palette, you will see that it applied the color red. So what it means is it's dynamically, this palette is changing all the time when I choose different colors. So you remember this was yellow, yeah? If I go to the execute window and I press blue now and I go back to this color, you will see that give me a second. Yeah, you will see here that it has updated. Now you have a cyan and magenta that makes it blue actually applied together. So that means that those palettes, those soft palettes, are dynamically updated from your choice of palettes in the execute window. And the difference between this and the normal way of applying a palette, as soon as you choose this color, that updates this soft palette. And when this soft palette is updated, it also updates, well, this is the reference to the palette that is here. And then if you use that palette in many other cues or chases across your show file, they will automatically be updated. So what it means is you don't need to come here every time and go and change the color and update. You can actually do it immediately by choosing the right color, and that will apply the soft palette here. So this is one of the ways of using the soft palettes in the region. So if you have a group of lights, color palettes, and one of the soft palette, then it will be always, any choice here will automatically update a palette, and this choice will automatically update all the cues and the chases that you have that that is linked to that soft palette. I hope it wasn't too hard. Again, that way it's actually much faster, but some people don't use the the regions, which I think they should really use. But if you remove the region, say clear region, if you remove that clear region, so every time if you want to apply and update a soft palette, first of all you'll have to select a group, then you'll have to select a soft palette, and then you have to apply the color. So that's a really long-winded way. So the best way to do it is to do the same way I showed you, is when you select your all the palettes, including soft palette and a group of lights, you press set region and that's applied. Same thing, set region and that's applied. That way you will be you will be able to update a lot of your cues and chases just with one click of a palette on the main screen. I hope it was useful for you, and if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I mean, subscribe to both of our channels. We have a ChamSys YouTube channel, and of course you've seen it on another channel. Subscribe to both of them, and as soon as the new videos will come out, you will be notified about this. That's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.